A Cook County jury agreed Friday with Mariola Zapolsky and her attorneys that she was inappropriately prescribed Yasmin birth control by a Chicago doctor that led to her 2007 stroke. She and her husband were awarded almost $14 million in damages after a 2-week trial. My guest is her attorney, Bradley Cosgrove, a partner with the Clifford law offices in Chicago. Bradley, welcome. How difficult is it to link a pharmaceutical to something like a stroke?
Well, under the circumstances in this case, the difficulty was not in linking the pharmaceutical. You'll find, and I think the facts in our case bear out, that this was a stroke that occurred 13 days after Mariola Zapolsky received her first package of Yasmin, which is an estrogen-containing birth control pill. So from a timing standpoint, it was crystal clear. The only thing that had changed in her life was the recent prescription of an estrogen-based birth control pill named Yasmin 13 days prior to her massive life-changing stroke.
So from what I'm reading about this case, you were able to prove that her doctor did not consider some health risk factors that she had, which made her not an ideal candidate for Yasmin.
Well, in fact, what actually happened in this case is that the physician was presented with this patient, and one rule that all physicians should follow and understand is that you have to take your patient as you find them. And under these circumstances, my client, Mariola Zapolsky, presented to Dr. Annual with various underlying risk factors for stroke that caused her to be a candidate that had an increased risk of stroke in comparison to a different person, such that in this circumstance, Yasmin was an inappropriate drug. Any estrogen-based birth control pill was an inappropriate drug for Mariola Zapolsky because she was over the age of 35. She had a body mass index that categorized her technically as obese. She had a history of smoking throughout her life and had a current smoking history of occasionally smoking 5 to 6 cigarettes a day. And finally, she had another very significant underlying comorbidity, that being a high cholesterol level, all of which combined together synergistically to increase her risk of stroke, such that a progesterone-only pill, a hormone pill, could have been prescribed to Mariola Zapolsky, and this result would not have occurred.
How does this case, Bradley, compare to other cases or lawsuits related to estrogen-based birth control?
I think under the circumstances, Mrs. Zapolsky's damages were very significant, and as a result of that, my office hired and retained 6 very capable and qualified and distinguished experts that actually demonstrated to the jury every aspect of this case from a medical standpoint. We had a gynecologist, a stroke neurologist, a hematologist, a neuropsychologist, a physical medicine and rehabilitation physician, and an economist, all of which combined together to prove beyond the preponderance of the evidence that Mariola Zapolsky did have a stroke due to Yasmin, which she was placed on against in violation of the standard of care for a gynecologist.
Well, finally, Bradley, again, congratulations. What is Mariola's long-term prognosis?
From a long-term standpoint, I think she's going to have, and the expert testimony that came in, was a normal life expectancy if her underlying conditions are managed in accordance with the standard of care. The issue is that she has permanent left-sided paralysis. She's wheelchair-bound, and it requires 24-hour care. She has brain damage from the stroke that has left her a different person than she was 13 days before she received Yasmin, the estrogen-based birth control.
Bradley Cosgrove is my guest. He is with the Clifford Law Offices in Chicago. And you're watching the Legal Broadcast Network.